Have you heard the news? Because honestly, I haven't either, and that's kind of my own fault because kind of haven't been keeping up with it, but that doesn't matter. I'm back now, and we're gonna talk about it. You thought you could just come back, now let the people know where you've been, Magic? That's just rude. I can't believe you've done this. I thought you cared about your fans. You just can't pop out of nowhere and be like, I'm back, accepted. No, you gotta let these people know what you've been up to. Let them know where you've been, and this is what's been going on. Hey, actually, that's not my name. Could you, well, I've been here and I've been there, you know. Who's asking about me? What? Huh? Excuse me? My name is Magic, if you could please get that right. I've been there and here, you know. Who are all these people? Hold on, you know what? No. It's your guys' own fault. I mean, even though I wasn't active on YouTube, I was still very, very active on Twitter. I tweet on Twitter about once per day, basically. If you ever want to know what's going on with me, what's going on in my life, what's going on with the channel, what's going on with a stream, etc., etc., my thoughts on this, the thoughts on that, it's on my fucking Twitter. I tweet all the time. Sometimes I tweet stuff that I put in videos on Twitter before I put it in the video. So if I'm tweeting, you better be liking it. I'm watching, I'm waiting. I'm looking at my Twitter account right now. It's not going up. What are you doing? I want more Twitter followers, if that isn't obvious. I want more Twitter followers. Talking about the Fusion Fall news, we're getting all our information from the man, the one, Woe Mayhem, the only person coding Fusion Fall Retro because he doesn't trust anybody else, and he wants this game to come out, and he's the only one who knows how to do it, essentially, on the retro dev team. Doesn't matter, that's not what we're here to talk about right now. We're here to talk about this bits of gaming knowledge on the game, he's dropping it, and your big homie, Magic, is here, pick it up, scoop it up, put it together, make a nice sandwich, and explain it all to you people. You're welcome. First in the long list of all the things we have to talk about today is custom names, which is pretty simple when you think about it. If you have a name that you want that isn't on the wheel of names, then you just submit it. Or maybe if you want to be a dick to your friend and you know he has a specific name that he wants, you just tippity type it in, and anywhere from a couple of hours to a couple of days, maybe even weeks, depending on how many people want custom names that aren't on that wheel, then you'll get your name if it was approved. Now, if you log in and it's like you have to select a new name, it means your name wasn't approved, it wasn't appropriate. Because you gotta remember, Fusion Fall is a kid's game at the end of the day, so there's no names like dick, and among other things like that. So, let's try to be mature here, even though I really know you're not. And I swear to God, if any of you folks take Magical Dealer, I will personally come castrate you. And if you're a chick, I'll cut your tits off. I'm warning you. We now have a reason to go after those level 1 monsters because now they drop items as well. They're going to be dropping most of the items that were from the character creation that you didn't choose. So if you're a collector and you want every set in the game, for some reason you won't be complete unless you have every single set, then go grind up those level 1s and they'll drop them. And I can see it now, that one guy who's like, I can't find the last one. I need the last one. Yeah. He's gonna be out there. And as an added bonus, they've even put in some unreleased items in there, like some helmets that were never used, or such and such other things. There's some pictures. I got some pictures up there. You're looking at them. Those things. They put those things in there. So, happy hunting to all of you. Arguably the most popular aspect of Fusion Fall would be the nanos, and it looks like they took a lot of development time. I'm reading here, it says, nano powers required a lot of research to be the most accurate that they could be, which makes a lot of sense because nanos have a lot of powers, but let's be honest, the only ones you ever used were jump, damage, stun, maybe sneak. That was it. Maybe you used the revival one, but you weren't using those other nano powers. It doesn't matter. Reading more on here, They worked hard to make sure the game was working properly because you know you didn't want to be standing out there fighting a monster and be like, yeah, no. And it didn't do anything. Or it didn't do the thing it was supposed to be doing. And you're just standing there looking like, it's like, come on. And nothing, you know. So that's why we have the devs out here working hard, putting the work in, doing the research, making sure they work properly. I'm reading here now, it says, when it came to gumballs, there were apparently different tiers that weren't used. Gumballs, you know, were the things you gave your nanos to make them supercharged, make them more effective. Or I think they also like recharge. I'm not entirely sure, but it's one of those. Someone fact check me on that. Let me know in the comments. I won't read it, but at least all the people watching the video will know I was wrong or right, you know? That's what matters at the end of the day. So yeah, nanos. They're still nano. Now, when you play the game, you don't want to breeze through because then you would miss out on getting all those cool items they put so much effort into getting accurate data for. I mean, you don't want to miss out on the snot gun, guys, don't you? Don't you want to shoot the fusions with snot from a snot gun? The best thing. Or maybe the Ben 10 jacket, which actually, that's pretty cool. I wouldn't mind rocking that myself. Probably gonna grind to get this. And that's not all. Devin, just to name a few people who helped out WoW and working on this, spent up to 16 hours collecting data to make it possible. And it goes even further than that, because apparently there were some items you can only obtain when you defeated a fusion. And keep in mind, when you fight a fusion, you only get the one chance to fight them. There's no replan that mission. You fight the fusion's gone. You can't fight them again. Maybe if you help somebody else, then you get to fight it again, but you don't get that chance to get that item. Nah, think of the past. They gave it into a crate. They put it in a crate. They put so many things in a crate. You know what they put 2,200 items in crate sets for you to find. There's so much work to do if you're a collector. Good luck. 2,200. So we all know about the homegirl Coco and her eggs, but for those of you who may have never played the game, all over, and I mean all over the place, you could find Coco Eggs, right? There were orange ones, which would contain buffs like jumping and running faster, and then there were golden ones that contained items. And if you find them, you can have a chance to get like some gumballs or some cool item sets. And following the trend so far, if it dropped an item, it can now drop unreleased items. Not to sound ungrateful, right? But it's not a big surprise now reading the rest of all these updates. I'm gonna assume in the future, if something could drop an item, it can drop an unreleased item now. Because that's just what's going on here. That's the same thing repeated. This next post is just a preview to the next big post that comes after. But before we get there, Will was talking about what's it going to take to get the future out for everyone to play, the features they talked about so far, what they're still working on, like races and trading, what's it going to take to get the pass out there to play. But the update after this is the one that had people going crazy. They're opening the floodgates, and they said something they probably should have waited a while before they announced. Sneak peek weekend is a thing. If you remember from the old game, if you're that old, which, let's be honest, if you're that old, you're probably in your 20s. Probably way too old to be playing Fusion Ball now. But if you remember, they had a sneak peek weekend where they would test out the game before releasing it. And that's what they're doing here. And when they announced sneak peek weekend, you had everybody going like, now, Sneak Peek Weekend is going to have the same purpose that it had originally. They're going to use it to test the bugs, test the servers, yada, 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 yada. And they're inviting everyone who can to come play it. It's open to everybody. This isn't a closed beta. They're not sending out codes. Everybody's going to get to play for the full weekend. You're encouraged to send in any reports of glitches you find. Most other people who can't wait patiently for this to come out saying some really negative things, which I'm not cool with. Hold on. Let me say my grievances on this, right? So, there are people out here saying negative things like it's been a month, I can't wait, blah, 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 as to when it's gonna come out, then this game's never coming out, and I'm not with that. I am not with that whatsoever, right? And if any of those people are in this kingdom are a subscriber, I want to remind you, you're not some scrub on the street. You're not some hoodlum. You're in the Magic Kingdom. You are a magical apprentice, and we don't spread negativity. But if I catch anyone under my banner out here slipping, you know what I'm gonna do? Oh, my, more Shendaru!